Quentin Tarantino movie comes out, I react to it the same way I react to when I hear news that a Christopher Nolan movie is coming out, a Ridley Scott movie is coming out, and so forth. I'm just kind of like, I gotta go see this movie. I don't know what it is, but I gotta go see this movie. That's definitely the case with The Hateful Eight. I was so hyped up to see this movie because I am a Tarantino fan through and through. You know, I've watched Pulp Fiction and Glorious Bastards and Reservoir Dogs about 50 million times. I know the quotes of them like the back of my head. And you know, after Django, which I really loved, I was curious to see, okay, what's Tarantino going to do now? You know, and Tarantino said he was going to do Western. I'm like, all right, great. And then all of a sudden you hear Sam Jackson, Kurt Russell, Tim Roth, and everybody that's basically worked with Quentin Tarantino before is coming back to do this movie. I'm like, awesome. Then you hear the 7 millimeter is playing a factor how it's being filmed in 70 millimeter. I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. And I gotta tell you, man, The Hateful Eight is fucking awesome. I love this movie so much. Make this really clear before I start. I did not see this movie in 70 millimeter. I really badly wanted to, but the city that's closest to me does is Phoenix, and Phoenix is 2.5 to 3 hours away. And look, man, there are some things I will do to go see a movie, but I'm not going to drive all the way right there, especially considering the fact that, I might not even make it in time to go see a movie. So I was just kind of like, fuck it, I'll just see it in regular, I guess, and I'll just presume, okay, you know, that was for 70 millimeter, and it is kind of obvious when you go see it regular that um, that the intermission starts. I kind of know in like halfway through the movie, I was just kind of like, okay, this is when the intermission happened. All right. So I didn't really feel like I was missing much. I will say that, man. But yeah, so The Hateful Eight, it's, first of all, this movie has such great dialogue. I mean, Tarantino movies, you know, you watch them purely for the fun characters and the dialogue. And guess what? This movie's got fun characters and great dialogue throughout. This movie has so many lines, so many quotes that, you know, me and my friends are kind of quoting to each other just because, you know, we we love the dialogue so much. And yeah, and the characters, like I said, they're great. Sam Jackson, I love. I think that's probably Sam Jackson's best performance he's ever given in a Tarantino movie since Pulp Fiction. I will say that much. Kurt Russell's awesome in the movie. I wish he was in the movie a whole lot more. Uh, Tim Roth is great because he's Tim Roth after all. But I got to talk about Walton Goggins and Jennifer Jason Leigh, man. They were awesome, man. Like Walton Goggins, first of all, I think Walton Goggins is a really underrated dude. You know, he'll pop up in here and there for a cameo in G.I. Joe or like in Django Unchained or like a few episodes of Sons of Anarchy. Doesn't matter. This dude is awesome. I really, really want Walton Goggins to show more and more movies because this movie definitely shows this dude is awesome. His character is more or less the comic relief of the Hateful Eight, but at the same time he doesn't really feel out of place. That's credit to Tarantino, Ryan, because Tarantino, you know, anytime you watch a Tarantino movie, he has his movies have moments where you're laughing really, really hard, and 1 minute, the next minute you're really shocked, and somehow it all works though. It doesn't feel like, you know, it doesn't feel like they don't match. They really do feel like they match in Tarantino's case. Jennifer Jason Leigh is amazing in this movie. I mean, she's always great in general, and seeing her in a role like this and working with someone like Quentin Tarantino, it's awesome. And I'm glad, you know, I'm glad she's nominated for the Oscar for The Hateful Eight because she's fantastic in this movie. Yeah, this movie's 3 hours long, much like every Tarantino movie out there. But it didn't necessarily feel long. Like I didn't really feel the length of the movie. In fact, there was like at one point in the movie where my friend, you know, checked his watch and he was like, dude, it's only 2.5 hours that passed by. And I'm like, really? It's been 2.5 hours already? He was like, yeah, man, yeah. And I was like, oh, nice. You know, so Tarantino, so I feel like this is probably one of Tarantino's best paced movies since I think probably Inglourious Bastards. Because I always felt like Django, you really felt the length of Django Unchained, and the same goes for like, you know, Jackie Brown and so forth. So it's cool to see. It's cool that this movie is so well paced, like every other Tarantino movie. But Yeah, like overall, I don't got many bad things to say about the Hateful Eight. I guess the only bad thing I can say about it is just the fact that they kind of, I guess, you know, three-fourths of the way through, they kind of just give everything up and just be like, okay, this is what happened. This is how it goes down here and there. And you start seeing a bunch of the Tarantino carnage, which is awesome. I love Tarantino carnage. It's Mortal Kombat. It's that Mortal Kombat type of violence, which is awesome. But at the same time, you love playing detective so much. It's just kind of like, oh, all right, fine. I guess we're no longer playing detective. But still, The Hateful Eight is awesome. I love this movie. It's not my favorite Tarantino movie. I mean, it's not my top three like Pulp Fiction or Inglourious Bastards or Reservoir Dogs are. But it is still a good movie, and I still suggest that you totally check it out. If you're a Tarantino fan, you've probably seen this by now, and if you haven't seen this if you're a Tarantino fan, and you haven't seen it, go watch because this movie is a whole lot of fun. It's definitely my top 10 favorite movies of 2015, that's for sure. So that being said, I'm gonna give The Hateful Eight an A. God, I love this movie so much. I cannot wait to go see this again, and I